interesting because when you talk about how we struggle so badly, he came right in and he saw it because it almost took an outsider to come in to see something what you guys have been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in it, you can't really see it.
No, there's so many moving parts,
Yeah.
first of all, that it's hard to keep up. And so when you see our board books and our meetings, all the things that we're trying to cover, there's quite a bit of things. And so when we looked for a new CEO and president of the hospital, we had a lot of candidates. The whole board was very involved in this process because it's very important that we brought in a powerful leader, knowledgeable, committed to the community and to the work.
Mm-hmm.
And I must honestly say that all of the candidates on paper were qualified. Did they have the degrees that we were looking for? Did they have the experience? Yes. But it took more than that to get this job. We needed someone that had that firecracker in them, that fire, that power, that commitment, that drive, because it is hard and there's a lot to go through, to understand, to walk through. And so I walked with him on one of his first visits before he was actually hired. And as he was walking through the hospital and talking about, he was asking questions about different rooms and different pieces of equipment. Even though he's not a physician, I was just impressed with the fact that he had knowledge to ask those kinds of questions and insightful questions about how things really were going on. And I knew, I said, the change, the cultural change that needed to happen for us to continue to strive and to continue to survive as a safety net hospital, we needed a leader that had that commitment and that drive that it was going to take. And also some compassion. The people that have in this hospital that have been working here for many years, the doctors, the nurses, the staff, they're not the bad guys. So you want someone that comes in that understands what they've been dealing with this older building, dealing with all the changes that are happening in healthcare, and willing to work to pull it all together and help it to survive. And so I knew he definitely got my vote.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Great.
He's amazing.
That's great to hear.
I'm being totally honest. I mean, he's tough, but it's like it got to be done.
Yeah,
'Cause
well, it is tough.
No, he's really,
and it does have to get done.
Yeah, and I know that. And what's interesting is when you see, one day I was looking at him and I was like, man, God, I just started praying for him because I said, man, this dude got a lot of pressure.
Mhm.
Because he walked into a cesspool. And that's just the honest to God truth. It wasn't like, oh, you're going to come in and just take over because the other person. No, you're coming in and you're really tearing it down and rebuilding it.
Yeah.
And he has,
Yeah.
and he's doing that. And it takes time.
It takes time.
And I think the most difficult thing is the culture, because this culture here was different.
Mhm.
It was different.
Mhm. And some of that is not, what would I say, exposed to the board. When you're at the board level, you get the reports and you see certain data, but you can't feel the culture. You get reports that it says it's good, but you don't know that it's not. Someone has to be on the inside that's really looking at opening up, peeling back the layers of the onion to see what's in there and to really change it. And that's what we want. That's our goal for this hospital. We can't survive if we don't change the culture. And the culture has to be teamwork. The culture has to be customer service focused, quality of care focused, increased quality in every area, whether it's financial, whether it's health care, whether it's food service, whether it's facility, quality, increased quality everywhere. That's what we need. And I believe that Mr. Miller is bringing that, and that's his goal.
Okay. And I was gonna say, a year into his role,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts so far? How the hospital has changed the dynamics here?
Oh, well, it's been a year, and the changes are sweeping. We're just finishing up a what do you call that? Credentialing, a re-credentialing process, and it's been challenging. But I was on the phone with the examiners who came in and gave the reports, and it was impressive that we had almost 0 citations anywhere. So we have really, things are much, much better. And clearly, I mean, things like delinquent files went from 300 to 0. That's under Mr. Miller's leadership. And so yes, things are much better And yes, my mother has a saying, I have to share this. The room for improvement is the largest room in the world. And so, yes, there's still places that we need to improve. We're not at nirvana, but we're a lot better than where we were. Okay?
Yeah,
That's great.
That's great.